Ladies and gentlemen, we are so back. A few days ago, this guy comes up to me and starts praising the new Thunderbolts movie. Oh yeah, top 10, one of the best Marvel movies ever made. I'm like, whoa, slow your roll. What's this kid saying? Like, is he a little crazy? Has he not watched what's been coming out recently? I mean, the bar is through the floor. Expectations non-existent. There's no way Marvel is suddenly gonna hit it out of the park. And you know, he may not be entirely wrong. Out of everything that's come out of phase whatever, everything that's come out post-Endgame, this is definitely up there. I haven't felt this way about a new Marvel movie in a very long time, and not only for this film, but what's going to follow it. I'm actually hyped for the future of the MCU. Now, saying that feels weird because of the years of more or less visual torture that we've had to endure leading up to this, but finally, they've made a banger. The last movie that I got to suffer through was the Captain America movie. Now, we all know how that turned out, and segueing from that to this is a monumental jump. Not only does this movie actually take the time to explore key characters, but they do it in a way that relates to what's going on. I find that my problem with Marvel movies nowadays is that they focus too much on trying to push the boundaries or expand the universe. I mean, that's fine, that's what they've always done, but in the older movies, they were actually telling a story at the same time. You see, it wasn't just a drawn-out setup for something later. There was a conclusive beginning and end, where characters actually grew and changed from beginning to the end. Unlike Brave New World, where Sam stays the same from the beginning to the end. What I'm trying to say is that Marvel is making movies for the sake of the future, to continue on something great, some larger saga, like Kang would have been or Doctor Doom will be, but they don't really take the time to do anything fun with the characters in the movie that's happening. It's been a lot of setup, a lot of introduction, but it gets boring when there's so much step one that nothing ever gets to step two. But this movie is different. This is sort of clamping down multiple different loose ends and combining them into one, which I like. It's finally building on past films and shows and tying all that together into a movie. It feels like Marvel has direction again. It feels like there's something happening. It makes the world cohesive. It's like old Marvel. This movie acts on what has come before it, like the Black Widow movie, like the Falcon TV show, even bits of the Captain America movie. All of that's part of the same world. I do have a few gripes with the film. There's this one bit throughout the entire movie where they try to out-trauma each other, like who's had a worse run of life. Doesn't really work because they've all kind of had the same run. They're all kind of lab rats. They've all been experimented on. They're all super crazy spy assassins is what I'm saying. It gets a little annoying after a while, but the other thing, the thing that still bothers me, the thing that stops this from being a perfect movie is how it looks, and I'm talking about the effects. It still baffles me how the first Avengers movie looks better than anything that has come out after Endgame. This has been an ongoing issue, not specific to the Thunderbolts, but including the Thunderbolts. Now, I don't know if it's a case of effort or money or time, maybe all three, but the older films just had more, what's the word? It's not clarity, but texture. Tangibility. I feel like I can go out and touch it, you know? These new movies are, yes, very impressive, but they don't convince me that they're real. CGI is good. I like CGI. I'm not saying I need everything to be practical, but CGI is good when I can't tell that it's CGI. In the past, in phases 1 to 3, it was implemented in a way where you didn't have to suspend your belief to consider that this is a real thing that's happening. But in these new movies, it's kind of the opposite. It's very apparent where the VFX is and where it's not. It just all looks a little janky. Surfaces look a little too smooth. There's not enough texture to them. Characters move a little too fluidly. They don't feel alive like they did in the old movies, you know? And that's what I miss. I really do just miss that. That is single-handedly stopping this movie from being perfect. Because I'd argue the way a movie looks is almost, if not more important than the story being told. Because if a movie can't convince me that it's real, if I can't get invested in this world, if I can't escape, then I could care less for the story being told. But that's a separate topic for another day. You know, I don't think they were accounting for a very hard pivot that was gonna have to happen with the whole Jonathan Majors thing. They wanted to do Kang really bad. They put a lot of time and effort into setting up all the time stuff and the multiverse. Because of what happened in real life, a pivot had to happen. I mean, Kang was supposed to be the final big bad in Secret Wars. I mean, all of Phase 4 and even leading into Phase 5, it was all Kang Kang is the bad guy. Well, not anymore. I'm not super up to date with how they're handling the pivot. I haven't watched Loki season 2. I can't be bothered. I don't know if they're going to address it or not, or if they're just going to smooth it over entirely, but I'll be honest, I kind of never really cared for Kang, but I really do like Doctor Doom, so no harm done. Well, you know, outside of it all. But now getting back to the movie, as far as the rebrand goes, I kind of like this, and I'll say that because I think the team being the new Avengers is a good idea. I like the characters on this team, but the thing is, they're all kind of like the same person outside of Bob, but no one's really crazy powerful. Like, you know, on the old team we had Iron Man, we had Thor, yes, we had people too like Hawkeye and Black Widow, but we had Captain America on there, we had gods, there was Vision, Scarlet Witch, even the Hulk. These beings could actually, you know, fight threats, and this new team is all just kind of assassins, and one of them is kind of super, and they have Bob, but Bob isn't really going to be used, I don't think. It's a start, I'll say. It's a start of a team, but I really hope this isn't the final roster. But I like that they're actually doing something. They're actually taking charge. Marvel's putting their foot down and saying, okay, you know what? Fine, we're going to start making good films now because you guys are upset. Because the problem with everything up to this point is that it's all disconnected. It's all over the place with the movies and the shows. This very easily could have been another standalone movie that goes nowhere. And that makes me so happy that Marvel actually decided, you know what? This is important. We're going to do something with this. And this brings me back to how Marvel used to feel, you know, where you feel giddy about what's going to come next. And I'm glad to say that I was wrong about this. I'm glad to say that my expectations were blown out of the water. And I'm excited to see what's coming next. I'm hyped about a Marvel movie for once, and it feels good. I feel like a kid again. Fantastic Four, when I first saw the trailer, I couldn't care less. But after this, and then also seeing the trailer right before the movie, has got me incredibly hyped. It is now one of my most anticipated movies of the year. But let's just hope that's actually good and not a major flop.